Hello and welcome back to the podcast. If you haven't heard the news yet, we have brought the podcast to life by taking it to YouTube. So now, every week, Mondays as normal on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, pretty much everywhere podcasts play, the Sanctuary of She podcast will drop on Mondays as normal. But now, also on Thursdays, on the YouTube channel, the full episodes will drop in video format. So you will have both options available. And I have wanted to do this for so incredibly long. And you just get to a point sometimes where you have to put the inner perfectionist away as you're trying something new. And there's new equipment involved, there's new setup involved, there's new upload process involved for everything. And you just have to get to a point where you say, okay, I seek clarity with action. I'm just going to start doing it and we're going to let it snowball as it will. And so this is me coming to you now, bringing the podcast to life. And I'm so excited. This podcast is the third one that's going to be on the YouTube channel. And I have to say, I'm having so much fun with video. I absolutely love video. And I also just really love the fact that now we have options. So the link to the Sanctuary of She YouTube channel will now always be in the show notes of every episode as well. Subscribe. Help me out, come hang out, because not only are we doing the full episodes, but I'm also doing a lot of shorts from each of the episodes, which are under 60 second clips that break out some of the key points. And those I post pretty much on a daily basis. So there's a little bit of everything. And who knows, right? Like I said, the sky is the limit with how far we can take this. So hello, YouTube. Podcast new level once again. This podcast has just been the never-ending, beautiful ride and journey to be on with you guys. We are almost coming up on the fourth birthday. 11/11 will be the fourth birthday, and I haven't said anything about it now, but I feel like now is as good of a time as any to say that for the fourth birthday of this podcast, we are doing something monumentally huge. So if you love this podcast, if you love Sanctuary of She, if you love hanging out together, you are not going to want to miss what we are doing for the fourth birthday in November. Okay, I'll leave that there. Let's get into the episode for today. So what I want to talk about with you today is potentially the number one thing that is blocking you from entering expansion at levels that you've been craving, right? We talked about in a recent episode, how long have you been wanting the things? How long have you been in a wanting holding pattern of the things? Probably forever, because if you're still there, it means you haven't yet gotten it. So what is the reason? Why are we not leaving the wanting holding pattern to be in the receiving experience in the present moment of the thing? Let me tell you, that's what we're going to break open today. So we say we want more, right? We come into this work so much because the expansion excites us. The idea of having more excites us. More love, more freedom, more abundance, more connection, more joy, more purpose, right? We want more. The only thing that never changes on this earth is that everything is always changing. We are literally programmed and hardwired along with everything else on this planet to be beings of constant evolution, to be beings of constant change, the cycles of life and rebirth and death. It's what we're a part of. We are a part, and with that. So with that, we have this desire for more. We have this desire to say, yes, I would love a little bit more of that, please. I would love a little bit more of that, please. I would love a little bit more of that, please. But here's what we're forgetting. We live in a universe of polarity. So when you say, I want more of this, you've got to be willing to also have more of this. Full spectrum. We can't just have a little bit more of that without the potential of a little bit more of this. We've got to be willing to hold both. What do I mean by this? You say you want more success. You say you want more love. You say you want more abundance. But actually, think about what that's doing in your life. Because at the conscious level, you're saying, okay, yes, thank you, please. I'm so excited to have more of that. But when you have more of things like that, what do you also have? More to lose. And so your conscious mind says, I want more of this, but your subconscious system, 95% of your autopilot computer that controls your thoughts, feelings, and actions on a daily basis is saying, no, thank you. Because more of that could potentially mean more of the hard stuff. It could set us up at a greater risk of failure, of loss, of depletion, of scarcity, of fear. And so we don't even realize that we're in a constant battle. And when we pop into our conscious mind and we realign and we refocus on these things that we want more of and the expansion that comes with it, it's so easy to be like, why am I still in this holding pattern? I've been popping into this conscious space wanting this for so long. So why isn't it here? It's because your subconscious is not allowing you to access it because it's in fear or doubt of what could come on the other side of that. And this is a huge piece that we have to get behind, because what does this mean at the end of the day? In order to have more expansion, you must be willing to fail bigger. You must be willing to lose bigger. You must be willing to release control at deeper levels than you've ever had to. That is the only way to actually do it. That is the only way to actually bring in the love of your life, the success and abundance of your life, the purpose-driven mission of your life, the health and the vitality and the body that makes this human experience so fun to live in of your life, the stories that are worth a New York Times best-selling book, all of the things that you want, whatever that looks like for you. You've got to be willing to fail at them just as much as you want to succeed at them in order to achieve them. And this is the crazy thing. This is the crazy thing, is because so many of us, our instant thought is, I'm not willing to do that. Why would I sign up for that? That's literally the opposite of what I'm trying to sign up for, Katie. Why in the world would I sign up for that? I only want it if I'm going to get the good. Here's where the energetics work comes into play so much. Because if you're going after the good, if you learn to stay open enough, aware enough, and intentional enough to actually be on the path of bringing in that more of expansion, then your relationship to the what if it doesn't work changes. From right here, from where you stand as you approach these things, it feels so big and scary, and that's why you've been stuck in the holding pattern. But what you begin to realize and what you begin to cultivate as you walk deeper and deeper on this path of the more of the expansion and the receiving is that your relationship to failure changes exponentially with it. Because what we begin to realize is that failure is an inevitable thing, first of all. It's required, but that it is the greatest teacher. And that it doesn't mean hard stop. It means pivot. It means take the lesson and integrate it. It means build the resiliency and the strength. It means you double down on your focus like you never have before. So that when you do receive the big more, you can actually hold it. Because life's, and our human will always human, and nothing's ever perfect. You ask any person who's made it to big exponential levels of success or love or abundance or connection, they only got there and they can only hold it there because every quote unquote failure, disappointment, pivot along the way taught them how to be strong enough to hold not just one, but both ends of the spectrum when it comes to the receiving in this universe of polarity. So, what am I saying? I'm saying go for the thing like you've never gone for the thing, but simultaneously open yourself up to the knowing that to really go for that thing means being completely unattached to if it works the way your mind in this version of you thinks that it should or not. It means trusting in all of the lessons and the challenges and the obstacles that are going to present themselves along the way. Because if you are going in a steadfast, determined nature like that, it's inevitable that you're going to reach that point or something far more magnificent, and that every step along the way is going to be a crucial piece of the story that gets you there. One story that I love about this is Walt Disney. Walt Disney went to the banks 28 times to try to get a loan to build what we now know as the global empire of Disney. 28 times. This means that 27 times he went, got dressed up, pitched himself, and got a no, and had to come home and sit in that no. Can you imagine if he would have stopped on time 27? Right? Time 28, he got the yes. And as Disney started to grow and build, there were all these people that tried to sue him, tear it down, he was a threat, a huge competitive threat. So a lot of people tried to tear him down. He was coming into new territory. And he says, the only reason that I was able to survive every single one of those and grow it into what it was is because of the strength and resiliency that I gained along the way of all the no's that I got. That's what taught me how to hold obstacles at the new level of success, at the new level of stress on the line, at the new level of business, at the new level of dynamics that he was in on this earth, in these industries, with people around the world looking at him. He had to know how to be strong and resilient to hold himself through every single one of those situations. And he could only do that because of what every step along the way taught him. The only thing that every single successful person has in common is that they didn't stop, that they didn't give up. And that doesn't matter what we're talking about. It doesn't matter if it's actually business for you, or it's actually a career connected to your mission and your purpose, or it's the love that you're desiring, the family, the home environment that you're wanting to create, the connections and relationships with people around you. Doesn't matter what success looks like to you through this lens. The only thing that every successful person has in common is that they didn't stop, because they knew that as I want more of this, more of the other is going to teach me everything I need to bring in more of this. So ask yourself, truly, when it comes to these things that you've been holding close to your heart or deep in your belly or at the back of your mind for so long, what power are they at? And ask yourself, really, what would happen if I quote unquote failed at it? If I really gave it my all? If I really went all in at a level that I had never gone in before and it didn't work, what would happen? Because what you're going to find is that the joy of going for it, like it's going to happen, far outweighs any scenario that it doesn't. Because even if that doesn't work out, it's going to reveal the next piece and the next piece and the next piece. And then who you're going to become on the way is this really strong, resilient version of yourself who's unattached and open to pivot. And you know the outcome's going to be good because you're not just sitting in a holding pattern of wanting or continuing to sit in stagnancy and boredom doing something that's completely not that at all, but you are going for it. So it doesn't matter if it works out the way that you're attached to it working out, because it's going to be epic, because it's going to be in alignment and in the same train as the desire itself. This is purpose. Becoming the version of yourself who walks through life like this is purpose. Purpose isn't a destination, it's a day by day way of being on this earth. So when you think about this, you're like, okay, Katie, I get it, right? I get it. I just need to go for it. And I need to detach from all the pieces that tell me that it has to look a certain way for me to feel safe and not get disappointed in doing this. And I trust myself to pivot. And I know that the joy of going for it is going to start to up level me into all the identities that I've been wanting to tap into for so long, and how energetics work. What we put out, we attract. So then I have the universe working with me in alignment towards this. I get it. Okay. But what about the codes that are so strong in the subconscious that continuously have me in that fear, in that contraction, in that doubt, in that worry? They're going to be there. Being outside the comfort zone means they will be there. The comfort zone is an illusion of safety where we can pretend those things don't exist because it's very predictable what's going to happen. So we protect ourselves from disappointment. And that's beautiful, but it can also be boring. And if you listen to this podcast, you typically want something outside of that, but no risk, no magic. So to go outside of that illusion of comfort and leave predictability for possibility, what if it works? You've got to also be willing to hold what if it doesn't at the same time. And you've got to hold both of them as you take every single step. And at first, it's like holding two weights of different sizes. Like, oh my gosh, whoa, how do we do this? And then you start to find your balance. And then you start to walk confidently. I want you to think of yourself like white light, okay? White light. What does white light do? White light holds every single color in the color spectrum. It just depends on the way the light is being filtered that elicits the color, right? Every color you see around you right now comes from white light, but the color that's being reflected to you just comes about because of the filter that light is coming from to create the blue, the red, the orange, the purple. This is how we are. You are white light, but every color of you, every personality of you, every piece of your identity is you reflecting that light in a different way. So you're going to have the doubt and the fear. It's going to be there. But is that what you choose to be reflecting as for yourself and those around you in the world? No. What if it can exist in the light? Because it all does. But what are you choosing to reflect out? And what you choose to reflect out when it comes to the energetics work is what you're going to get met with. And that's been happening this whole time. So what you have been choosing to reflect out is what you've been getting met with. It's always working for us and with us, but not on the conscious quick thought, on the overall energetic frequency that we're putting out. So if we want something else, we've got to put something else out. You've got to give a different color of yours the opportunity to reflect itself. Yes, while holding the others and not dismissing them, not bypassing them, but just not feeding them, not giving them the attention, not giving them the power, letting them be there, but playing with them for fun and giving your energy, your attention, your love, your focus to the other ones. And the more you do this, this starts to compound and those colors get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And now you're walking with what if it works and what if it doesn't work at the same time, balanced, because you trust in both. You trust yourself to hold what if it works because you trust yourself to hold what if it doesn't. Do you see? It's not just a one or the other. It must be a both thing. And up until this point, you've probably just been trying to lead with one. You've probably been trying to stay inside the comfort zone while only holding what if it does work. So no wonder you're not moving. No wonder that's not what's coming back to you. No wonder you're still in this holding pattern. This is where that story flips. This is where you leave predictability and into possibility. This is where you go all in to the road that you're ready to walk. Because you can hold what if it works and what if it doesn't at the same time. Because you know if you are on that path, you're in the realm of magic and miracles, and limitlessness is at your fingertips. And that's the point of the human experience. And when we put that out, that's what's coming back to us. This is the edge of a quantum leap. And aligning yourself to these things on a daily basis, because the portal to it all is today, is all that's required. Your job is your energetics. Staying open, staying aware, and staying intentional every single day so that you can grow your ability for those superpowers, and you let energetics do the rest. Not only is it going to bring about future points on the timeline that are bigger than your wildest dreams, but it also improves your quality of life in the now so big. Because now everything's beautiful, everything's romantic, everything's so exciting because you're so curious about what's coming. And it's so good now because you've finally stopped blocking your own self from receiving the beauty in the now, because you've placed yourself on the timeline of it happening right now. You've collapsed time, and so it is. So revisit these desires as we're entering into a new year in just a couple months, as we've still got so much left of this year. Revisit. Are you willing to fail bigger so that you can succeed in ways that you have only ever dreamed of? It's a daily process, one day at a time. The portal to it all is today. And if you want to do it alongside me and the most rad women on this planet, Sanctuary of She is the home and the place to do this work on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. So you can stay focused and consistent so that those colors that you're emitting get stronger and stronger and stronger, and the energetics do the rest. Buckle up, baby. This is the ride of life, and we are living it right now. We're living it right now, literally right now. Okay, have a beautiful rest of your day, wherever you are, and I'll see you soon.